Eminence. Go throw them knees up in the air.
9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
I've been waiting all week for some SFL action on a big screen. I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action on a big screen. I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. Rushing like a bullet into the end zone. Defense, hold up, no scoring in the red zone. Throw it up, pick 6, I feel like I'm Josh Rowe. Throwing downs over the shoulder, think I'm Jack Winmo. I need me back to back, trying to be like Vulture. Cause a storm, cause I'm mighty, it's in the culture. Esports TV, YouTube, Twitch, SFL Live, tuning you don't wanna miss. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action on a big screen. I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action on a big screen. I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them. Next level like my entertainment, NXT.
What is up, SFL Nation? Welcome back to SFL Nights with A.J.Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. And look who I have here with me, looking fly and debonair, Mr. Nathaniel Diggs. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Thank you. You're looking good yourself. I love the hairdo.
Oh, appreciate it. Doing something a little different, kind of changed up a bit, I see you did too. I like it.
Yeah. The ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little humid down here, and I was worried about it, but once it all came off, that cool breeze was good.
I bet it was. See, I can't do that. I don't have the hair for that. You got a nice shaped hair for that.
You can pull it off. The toupees look bad on men, but women can wear them wigs and nobody knows any different.
True, but I'm just gonna keep what I have. I'm good. Oh man, but we had a fantastic week over the weekend. Oh, some games were very close. Some games were miles apart, and I'm going to let you know about that. First, we're going to go week 7 review. Then we're going to do our pick'ems for week 8, and then I'm starting a new segment called Hot Topics. So just searching the league, trying to see what everyone is talking about. The hot topic that I found this week was player retirement. Should people be forced to retire? Or if this is an investment, you can just go ahead and play as long as you like. So we're going to discuss that coming right up. But first, let's go into week 7 review. All right. Bring up my notes. All right. So on August the 20th, the Seattle Nemesis took on the Carolina Skyhawks at David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium, where Skyhawks won 30-14. Canton Classics took on the Queen City Corsairs at Concord Field, and Canton won 21-7. Also on the 20th, the DC Dragons took on the Los Angeles Lakers at Full Moon Coliseum, and DC won 27-20. We have the Florida Storm taking on the Atlanta Swarm at the High, and Florida beat them 26-21. Motor City V8s took on the Indianapolis Ramblers in the Snake Pit, and Indianapolis won 63-10. Tough game to watch for them. The Arizona Scorpions on the 21st. I'm sorry, the Motor City game took place on the 21st. The Arizona Scorpions versus the Houston Headhunters took place at Hyena Den Park Stadium. Great game to watch. We're going to tell you all about that. Arizona won 21-20 in a nail biter to the whole time. San Diego Mavericks took on the Mexico City Aztecs at Estadio Matt Wilson, and Mexico won 55-24. And Matt Wilson also received his 50,000 career passing yards in this game. So rest in peace, Matt. You're still having an effect on the field, even though you're not here with us physically. Congratulations. All right. And so one game that I actually skipped was the Tulsa Desperados that took place on August 20th. And they took on the Minnesota Legends at Minnesota Legends Stadium, where Tulsa won 34-21. On to the Charleston Predators taking on the Portland Fleet, in the Shipyard, where Portland won 38-30. On the 22nd, Louisiana Revolution took on the Jacksonville Kings, where Louisiana won 40-24. The Denver Nightwings took on the Lone Star Glory at Medal of Honor Field, where Lone Star won 34-3. Finally, the Fort Worth Toros took on the Las Vegas Fury at Silver State Stadium, where Fort Worth Toros won 37-21. So, Diggy, let's talk about your game for a minute. Let's go back and let the people know what your thoughts were on your specific game.
DC versus the Lycans. I didn't underestimate the Lycans. They've had a lot of close games this season so far, so I didn't really. Sorry, there's a truck going by. Didn't really want to, overlook them, because I think some people kind of do. But they came out and showed what they got right at the beginning. Getting that pick six, and our defense kind of kept us in the game there, and created some opportunities for our quarterback and run game to get us back in it, and it all worked out. I'm extremely happy here this season. I think the chemistry on the field is showing. I think we got the right pieces together, and some ratings, like I'm still kind of rated pretty low overall as a player, but I think the pieces around me helped me do better, and with Fuentes and Torres and even our rookies like Westlake and Ronnie, everybody's shining right now, and I think that plays into just having the right guys together.
Having the right pieces definitely puts you in a position to win more often than not, So I've watched you guys grow, and you definitely, the world's apart from when you first started. So
the coaching staff has done an amazing job this season, and I said that before I came here. They've been steadily progressing each year, and with Jorge helping out on defense now and learning that role, he's done a great job learning with Destro, and it's good to see one of your buddies succeed in that. I hope it continues for him, not just because we're playing and I want to win, but just in general. I want to tell all those guys they're doing a good job so far.
Hey, you guys are. Oh man, my game on the other hand, Arizona won 21-20, and when I tell you that was a dog fight to the end, it was crazy. So I had 308 yards passing, 92 yards rushing, and 400 yards total offense. We held the ball for 25 minutes and 56 seconds, but 6 turnovers. 1 was a fumble, 5 interceptions, bro. And so I got down and immediately did some push-ups for that, because I'm like, come on, Ash, you got to do better than that. But I admire Houston's defense because they seem to be everywhere I was throwing the ball. They just happened to be in the right place at the right time to catch some unfortunate events, like when Will Todd dropped, the pass, and then somebody was right there to pick it up, or when Connor Weston went in for a pass and, he got beat on the route and it was intercepted. So certain things you can't control. And Houston definitely has a fantastic defense. So shout out to Houston's defense. Houston had 181 yards passing in comparison, 77 yards rushing, 258 yards total. They held the ball for only 17 minutes and 13 seconds, but a relatively cleaner game with 3 interceptions instead. So it came down to like a minute and like 4 seconds left in the game when we had the ball. And I noticed we just sat on it. Like, I'm not throwing another ball. I'm not doing nothing else. We're just gonna let this. We ain't even try to kick a field goal. Nope. We just gonna hold it. I'm gonna kneel. We just go the whole time.
There was a lot of crazy stuff this week. It was almost like upset city this week, as well as what happened to some of these teams, and then like you said, it's the interceptions. I've noticed that a lot this season. There's been quite a few, 5 interception games, 6 interception games. And it's just about how you handle that and come back in the same game or the next week. And you obviously, overcame that this week, just like, Shabazz did coming off that, start to our game this week. And like I said, the Vikings defense is they played really great against us. And, credit to them. But it's just about how bad you want it, and even some of the play calls we had. We were right towards the end of the goal line, and you'd figure run it in there, and we pass it, and I'm like, what is going on? And then we get the ball back, and I think there's like 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and I'm watching it, screaming, fundamental football, run the clock, no, pass. I was like, what is that? What is that? Oh, man.
Because AI decided they want to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. But, for how smart this game can be when it comes to, players paying attention to the football and what's around them, when you see that stuff, you're just like, I'm just giving you credit for being, so good game-wise compared to the players. And then you pull this Let's moving on.
It keeps us on our toes. We can't just sit there and be comfortable. I was not comfortable at no point during that Houston game. You hear me? I was just sitting on pins and needles. I told Damon and Mike St. Green that, like, y'all, that was not easy at all. Was there another game that you want to talk about before we moved on?
Oh, yeah. What was the other game I picked?
I want to say it was Motor City. Was it Motor City and
No. Oh, that's what it was. It was Atlanta and Florida.
Oh, okay.
That's the game I picked. I'll get my notes here. It said, Dynasty had a great comeback after throwing the pick to start the game, just like we just talked about this week. Atlanta really came out and got the run game going and opened up the pass game, letting Dynasty thread the needle multiple times. It opened up, the run game even more for them, and I think they had a great mix of run and pass there. I needed someone to pay attention to what the announcer was saying in there, because I kind of want a t-shirt made, and it's when he said, zebras can be blind. He was talking about one of the plays, and the refs not paying attention, but they got it right, and that killed me. I guess depending on what side of the call you're on, they can be blind, but more often than not, they usually are, even if they get it right. But Florida's Cochran did really well at finding open receivers. Both teams' defenses stepped it up when they needed to, right at the half, and starting the second half with 2 interceptions. Both teams counting interceptions. It was crazy. The Florida being able to slow down Hollywood in the run game in the second half in regards to getting more first downs. He still ate good. He's still got some big runs and some first downs in there, but they were able to slow him down enough. I think that really played a key into the outcome of the game there. And in the fourth, Hollywood came out and, he played like a man possessed and did everything he could to get his team in the spot to win. It just didn't pan out. But, that guy's heart and determination he showed in the fourth was pretty amazing. So it was a game to watch.
Definitely. And if you guys do want to go back and watch these games, I'll leave the link in the description so you can go to the Simulation Football League's YouTube channel and check out all of the games, all of the replays, all of the highlights that we had from the games as well.
I think I told you it's my game of the week. I think that's what I picked before the week started.
Okay, gotcha. I don't remember if I actually picked a game of the week, but another game that I did take the time out to watch was Canton taking on Queen City. And I did see some of the backlash in that, from that game in the general chat, where one particular person is not, too happy about that, and he's making it known. But as I said, Canton did win the game 21-7. And I don't even know if I want to give it that much, say his name like that, but he know who I'm talking to.
Oh, you don't need to say that. You don't need to drop it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it I didn't see what was controversial or anything about that. So I'll have to go back and watch that one.
Some people just have a little bit of sour grapes, but it is what it is, Canton had 247 yards passing, 94 yards rushing, 341 total yards. They held the ball for 24 minutes and 5 seconds with 2 turnovers, scoring 14 in the fourth quarter and 7 points in the second. Queen City had 275 yards passing, 75 yards rushing, 350 total. Time of possession for them was 19 minutes, 10 seconds with 3 mistakes. And they only scored their 7 points in the fourth quarter. So Canton definitely had their number in this game. Their defense was on point to only hold them to 7 points, and you didn't score that until the fourth quarter. Says something. Canton also won because they were able to convert third down at 8 times out of 15 times that they attempted, where Queen City only converted third down 4 times the entire game. So you can't convert third down when you really need it. And you're not putting up the points and you're not holding the ball, you don't have time to hold the ball, then you just won't be effective. And Queen City met their match this time with Canton, and they were victorious. And I believe the points were scored, if I'm not mistaken, by KJ Alesho, Robert Johnson, and someone else. I want to say it may have been Adam Chance, but I can't remember the third person. I'm sorry. Or it might have been Mike Twinsker. I think it was Mike Twinsker that scored that third one. But either way, congratulations. You're doing your thing. Excuse me. You definitely turned around from where you started. Looks like coaching is getting a little bit more acclimated and everything. So I'm interested to see how things fare in the long run.
They've had, enough games to see what each player can do, in the system that they're in. And,
Right.
Like I said before we started the show, we're getting halfway through the season. Teams got animations. They're not the same team you saw week 1 or week 2. So I'm curious to see who continues to turn around and who will turn it around the rest of the season. Some of these teams, people are, kind of overlooking, and they may come out and stomp you, just like we saw, this week. You may think it's a gimme game, and you're struggling to get on the board.
Yeah, I would not shortchange anybody. I would not second guess anybody. I think you should prepare as a coach for any game that you have, because everybody's learning, everybody's growing, and you can only be bad for so long, or you can only, not bad, but you can only deal with those issues for so long before you're figuring out what you need to do to get it done. And a lot of these teams are. So on to week 8 picks, though. It's going to be a great week. Speaking of which, now off camera, guys, we did do our pick'ems. And Diggy, if you could tell us how we ended with our pick'ems for right now, where we're standing.
Week 1, you had 10 out of 12 right, and I had 7 out of 10. Some of those upsets got me. But I did pick probably the biggest upset of the week last week, which was the Portland Fleet. I picked them to go. So I got that one, and that one I got you on that one.
You did. You did.
So I'm taking credit.
But I got 3 more extra on you. But we ain't gonna talk about that. All right. So week 8 will start on August the 27th and will consist of Mexico City Aztecs taking on the Las Vegas Fury in Silver State Stadium. And the way Mexico City Aztecs have been playing, I have to go with Mexico City.
Yeah, Mexico City's. I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I'm gonna go Mexico City.
Gotcha. The London Knights will be taking on the Vancouver Legion at King Coast Stadium at 6:30 p.m. Also on the 27th. That's going to be a good game to watch because if I'm not mistaken, London's still undefeated, right?
Yeah.
And Vancouver will drop 40, 60 points on you if you're not careful. I actually think Vancouver is going to hand London their first loss. I'm going to go with Vancouver on this.
I think I'm going to pick London on this one. I think Vancouver's had, a lot of close games. And I mean, they've won some pretty big ones too, but I think London rolls on one more week.
Okay, sounds good. The Portland Fleet will be taking on the Canton Classics at Fatherhood Festival Field. And so, both teams won this week. Both teams are showing promise. I think I'm going to give the slight edge to Portland, actually, because their coaches are a little bit more seasoned. And they have some surprises up their sleeve. So I'm going to go with Portland over Canton this week.
I think I'm going to switch it up on you here. Both teams won. I'm going to go with Canton just because I think Canton I think they figured out a little bit, and I want to see what they can try to continue to do with it. And I think they have a little bit more ammo to work with. So
that's true. Very true. The Louisiana Revolution will be taking on the Fort Worth Toros in the Stockyards at 8:45 p.m. Eastern. Also, another great game to watch. Louisiana did put up some good numbers this week. That front seven is absolutely amazing. And I think because of that, I'm going to go with Louisiana to win this game. Probably not by much, though. It's going to be probably a one-score game. But I think they're going to win.
I think...
All right. So we have Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Fort Worth over Louisiana.
All right. Gotcha. Sioux Falls on the 28th, Sioux Falls Sparrows will be taking on the Baltimore Vultures at Sports Gamers Online Stadium, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I think Baltimore is on a roll, even though Sioux Falls, they are one of those cornerstone teams that has, been in the league for a while. Coaches are seasoned. I think that Baltimore just has the recipe to win right now. So I'm going to go with it.
I think most teams have that one game you don't expect to lose to a team you don't expect to lose to. And you end up losing it. But I don't think that happens this week. I'm going Baltimore.
Okay, gotcha. Also on the 28th, the Carolina Skyhawks will be taking on the Tulsa Desperados in Greenwood District Stadium. The way Tulsa has been playing, they have been showing a lot of promise. I've noticed that JQ's been a lot more careful with the ball, so I think I'm going to roll with Tulsa this week, my ex-team.
I'm going with Tulsa as well.
All right, sounds good. Lone Star Glory, we're taking on the Arizona Scorpions at 8:45 p.m. at Fatality Field. It will be a home game for your Arizona Scorpions, where Arizona will win by 7 points or less.
Where's that crystal ball at?
It's somewhere around here.
No, I picked Lone Star to win last week when we had talked off camera, and they won. But it does seem like this game does kind of help out when it comes to home field advantage. So I'm gonna pick Arizona. Like you said, I think it'll be a closer game, and I'm gonna take care of the ball this week.
Right.
You got it. And you got it.
Or even if I don't take care of the ball, just or even if I throw 5 interceptions, just win the game at the end. Greg Soto hit me up. Hey, you think our defense is gonna get some interceptions off you? I was like, you probably will. But guess what? As long as we win in the end, I don't care how many you get.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close enough. It's going to come down to, the turnover thing. I think the turnovers will make a difference in it, or like being able to capitalize off those turnovers. If they get the turnover off you and they can't capitalize on it, then it's going to come down to one of those two that results in in this game.
The battle
it'll
of
be
defenses. Right. Also on the 28th, the Jacksonville Kings will be taking on Denver Nightwings at 8:45 p.m. Eastern at Richard L. Snowden Stadium. Unfortunately, the Denver Nightwings, I when watching them, they need a little bit of work. So with that being said, I think Jacksonville is a little more seasoned. They definitely, know how to win. Coach takes time out to say, I don't see how he does so much, but he still finds the time to put up these fantastic games. So I'm going with Jacksonville on this.
I want to go Jacksonville, but I think Denver will pull this one out. And it's gonna come down to, and I hope Jacksonville figures it out, but it's just gonna come down to if the coaching staff for Jacksonville can figure out what's going on with Jordan and turnovers. I don't like, seeing, Jordan throw the picks that he's getting, and I know it's not all him, but if they can fix that, I think they'll be, a lot better. But good luck to them. But like I said, it's just going to come down to that little piece. So I'm going to pick Denver this time and make that my upset game.
All right, gotcha. Houston Headhunters will be taking on the Florida Storm at 6:30 p.m. Eastern in the I on August 29th. Should be a fantastic game to watch. Like I said, you cannot count. Do not count Houston's defense out. You might be able to stop DR from getting, but if you don't capitalize, or if you allow their defense to stifle your game, they will. Florida Storm is one of those seasoned teams as well. I think I'm going to give them the slight edge because it is a home game, and they do have more pieces, but they definitely have to be ready for Houston's defense. That's just a warning. Mighty, I hope you hear me.
Yeah, Florida's defense is great as well.
True.
But I'm just gonna, for the sake of being argumentative, I'm just gonna go Houston.
All right. Sounds
I gotta make a change. I can't pick all these games the same as you and catch up. I gotta do something.
You probably should just, why don't you pick the games I pick? Because obviously I know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Might be a boring show though.
It would be. They're always agreeing. I don't like that.
This show's so biased. So biased.
The Atlanta Swarm will be taking on the San Diego Mavericks at Robert Hansen Field at the Archer Stadium. I think with San Diego going through the changes that they're going through, I think that they have to work those out. So I'm going to go with the Atlanta Swarm on this one. They did have a fantastic game, even though, like you said, there were picks made by Bryant. It still didn't stop the win. It still didn't stop their defense from being as effective as they have been. And so I'm going to go with Atlanta.
I'm gonna go with Atlanta as well. Like I said last week, I think they've got it. Figured out. I like the run pass mix they do. It opens up both sides of it, and their defense played well when they needed to keep them in the game. So I'm gonna go with Atlanta for the win this week.
All right. The Indianapolis Ramblers will be taking on the DC Dragons at Lord Deathstroke Production Stadium at 8:45 p.m. Also on the 29th. Now, I don't think that Indianapolis is going to put up 63 points on you guys. I just don't think so. That said, because it is a home game and because you guys also have those seasoned pieces and seasoned coach, even though Chad definitely and Adam, they're definitely seasoned in that respective. But I think DC just has that magic touch right now, and I think that they're going to win this game. Probably not by much, because Indianapolis has found their niche. They're definitely coming. But I think I'm going to give the edge to DC this time.
I'm real when it comes to picking the games. I've picked the team against my team before. So, but I'm going to go with DC. I'm going to pick my team here. I do think Indy is one of the better expansion teams. I think Minnesota's probably the best expansion team. And Canton's really turned things around so far the past couple of weeks. So we'll see how the season finishes out for all of them. But it was amazing to see that play from Indy last week. I don't think that it happens again this week, but I don't underestimate them either, especially after a showing like that. You can't do it. And I think they've showed they've more than got what it takes. And I think it'll be a close, interesting game. It'll be a fun game. So it'll be exciting, but I think we pull it out.
Pins and needles. Last game, Motor City V8s taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Full Moon Coliseum. Because of the performance of Motor City, I wanted to pick Motor City, but I'm just not as confident right now.
You're going with up here. You need to go with them here. Go with them here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted to pick them with here and here. But I think that Los Angeles is probably going to take this win because Motor City, they're still trying to work things out. They're still trying to, I know that they had some recent changes in coaching. So I'm not sure how that coach is going to mesh together this week with what they got going on. They could definitely pull it out, but I'm thinking that Los Angeles is actually going to wind up taking the win on this one.
I'm going to go with Los Angeles as well, especially with, how they played against us last week. Watching gameplay and then being on the field with them and experiencing the gameplay is two different things. So coming from that point of view, I'm going to go with the Lycans because, like I said, I think they are kind of one of the underestimated teams in the league. And I don't think they've gotten some recognition that they deserve in some of the close games they've lost. And I think they make another statement this week against the B8s.
We're going to see. We're going to see how everything works out. We're going to see who's right and how our pick'ems is going to wind up by the end of the week.
Yeah, I got to write them all down.
Don't worry, I got mine already on standby.
Don't change nothing.
I got mine written down. So. All right, on to our hot topic. So, hot topic, big player retirement. Should there be a limit on the amount of time that you can play at your position? Okay. Personally, I don't think so. I think that you should retire when you're ready, simply because you are creating your own experience. And if you are being forced to do something that you don't want to do, especially when you're paying for it, that could leave a bad taste in your mouth. That could cause you to want to leave. That could even deter you from even joining if you know, like, hey, I'm willing to pay my money. I'm willing to stick with the same team. I'm willing to do all of this. But after 20 seasons, I'm forced to retire. I don't think anyone should be forced to do anything, because naturally things are going to happen to people where, hey, life gets in the way. Things just happen. You can't pay for your sub, or you got some family things going on, or whatever. Those positions will eventually open up. And that's why you have the SFLM too, so that players can get involved, so they can see themselves on the field. It may not be on the major league level as of yet, but when your time comes in the minors, then you get all the shine. You still get all the glory. You're still getting all the practice. You're still getting all the progression points. You're still getting all of that, So I personally think it should be up to the player just whether they want to retire or not. Nothing forced.
All right. My view on it, I think there should be a cap. Maybe somewhere in the middle. I know people said 20 years, but we play 2 seasons a year, right? So that's 10 years. 10 years real life. So maybe max it out at 30. That's 15 years. That's longer than some of these real life pros play. 13 so years from most people hang it up. But it does put a cap on it, and you would come into the league knowing what that cap is. Hey, you got 30 seasons. 30 seasons to do what you're gonna do. That's 15 in real life years. That's a long time. And you should be able to restart. Now, I know it's like you said, there's an experience you're paying for, but there's limits on everything in life, pretty much. I've got internet. I get to use it as much as I want while I have it. I've got, Netflix or Hulu. Everything has a contract, right? And that contract ends. I don't get to say, well, I've been paying for that for the past 12 months, so you should continue. And then it just comes to the point, records wise, I get the argument of, well, that can negate some of these records, how special were you really as a player in the long run, because it was kind of like, I kind of compare it to like did you get the most yardage because you were really that good, or because you played 40 years or 30 years or 20 years? And, I think, that's the kind of the thing people use for some Michael Jordan, LeBron James. It's, people say LeBron's the GOAT. And everybody says, well, yeah, look what he did. But he played 6 or 7 years longer than it took Michael Jordan to do. Michael Jordan's the GOAT, but that's a different story. But that's just kind of my view on it. And maybe to ease that a little bit, make a window where, hey, you're getting towards the end of the limit here, the max years you can play in this league, or say maybe the time doesn't start until you hit the pros, until you're drafted your 30-year stars. The minor years don't count. You created your player, but your time's going to start once you hit the pro level. I can see that being fair, or I can see maybe another kind of medium or ease into being, hey, you've got 2 seasons left on your contract after this year. Okay, you're maxing out in 2 years. You need to create your minor league player now if you want to recycle back in and create, another person. So I can see that being a little in between thing too. You can't progress to the pros until your main guy's retired, but you've already got that other guy building up in the minors. What's up, Eddie?
What's going on, bro? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's going on?
Oh yeah, we had to, he had to pop in on this whole retirement thing.
Oh yeah, man. Hold on, man. Stop the presses, bro. I literally just got out the shower, so I had to run and throw a shirt on real quick.
Appreciate it. Were you finished with your point, Diggy, though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Eddie. So what are your thoughts? So, so far, I said I think that players should decide that on their own when they want to retire. Diggy brought up some good points as to why there should be a cap on it. And those are very interesting points and very valid. But what is your opinion on it?
Well, first of all, Diggs, see, before I see where you're actually going with this, and I'm gonna say I had you as a potential free agent to sign, but hearing your opinion on this, now all of a sudden I have to start backtracking. but no, it's all good. Okay, so I'm at the point where I don't believe we should be forced to retire up into the point where the league is at 32 teams. Right now we're at 28. So when we get to 32 teams, if, and that's a strong if, it gets to the point where people are waiting to get in, there's no room to sign people and stuff like that, then we can consider retiring. Consider, I get it. No one wants to be waiting forever and all that. So if it gets to the point where we're holding up spots and, we going on 20, 25 seasons and all that, I can potentially jump on board with that. But until we get to the point where the league is at 32 teams and there's no more roster spots to fill and the minors is blowing up and guys are waiting 2-3 seasons to get an opportunity, then I will consider retirement, but not up until then. No, I can't do it.
Okay, gotcha.
I can see that. The once we hit 32, readdress it from there. And like I said, there's multiple ways to ease into something. I mean, once we hit 32 teams, could it be 30 seasons by then? Max out at 30 seasons, like I said, 15 years in real life. And like I said, that's longer than most pros play. Or, in case there does get to be a line of people waiting, make it an entry process for the draft, like a mandatory 2-season minors, or like I said, hey, you're getting ready to max out on your contract, so you're going to have to retire in 2 seasons. Go ahead and make your minor league player and go from there. Like I said, there's multiple different ideas we could come up with as something to ease into the process. So I think it'll be okay in the long run. But like Eddie said, there really isn't a point to implement anything right now if not even close to maximizing the potential roster spots.
Now, you said once we're on the verge of doing that, we have an opportunity to create a player in the minors.
Yeah, that was an idea I brought up to Ashley was, people can recycle back in, right? So you'd say, hey, if you need to play in the minors, you're getting ready to retire in 2 years, go ahead and make your player now, but you cannot get that player into the pros until that pro's retired. So you still got your guy going and you've got your other guy, kind of building up in the minors that can't go pro yet. That way, when that guy does retire, you still have that guy ready to go. playing.
Yeah, but you still taking up a roster spot though. You still taking up the same roster spot you were taking up before.
There should be twice the many roster spots if we did implement a 2-year requirement for the minors before you can, go pro. Just like the NBA requires, you have to go to college at least one season.
Mm-hmm.
If we would put something like that into the minor leagues, that gives the pros 2 seasons to scout that person to see, how they're playing. I'm in another league, and I've been in the college series since January of 21, and the draft's not even until we're only halfway through my second season in college.
Yeah. And I've been in leagues like that where you do have to spend some time in the minors. Typically it's not 2 seasons, but you do have to spend maybe a season. Just kind of,
even if they did some stuff like where you had to, if they put some team really wanted to, if they could figure out how to run a 2 quarterback set like New Orleans did,
Mm-hmm. He just showing up all his.
Yeah, running a 2 quarterback set like New Orleans did for a little bit, or like the big thing in the NFL now is running back by committee. If there's a way to, get 2 good running backs on the squad and use them effectively, if there's multiple ways to kind of open up more roster spots, so people aren't just sitting there.
Indeed. Well, it's good stuff, man. It's good conversation because it's interesting to have.
You throw your Cash App up there.
Okay, might as well.
Hey,
Please donate.
We throw
dollar sign Eddie Gates. Send me all money. I could need it. I could use it. I got one more child to put through college.
I know that's right. But yeah, good conversation, fellas. I really appreciate you. Did you have anything else to say on that, Eddie? Or are you good with that?
I mean, I'm good on that, man.
Okay.
It'd just be so hard, man, to retire Eddie Gage, man. Come on, I've been around for a minute, man. One thing I will touch on since I got a second is owner players who soak up a good portion of the cap. You got owner players out here starting the season with 4, 5, 6 animations, man. Come on, dog. Save some of that for your teammates, man. What are y'all doing?
What did you think about some of the ideas that got thrown out? So just from an owner's view and stuff like that, and a coach's view.
That were thrown out in that suggestions box?
No, that was thrown out that I just threw out in regards to possible ideas to come up or anything like that.
Oh, your ideas in return in terms of retirement or forced retirement?
Yeah, like I agreed with you, waiting until we're kind of maxed out to implement anything or even discuss anything, and that's a little bit of ways away. Uh-huh. So that aside, just some ideas to ease people in or ease people out.
Well, that reminds me of something. Your suggestion reminds me of something that Mark suggested, the owner of the Swarm. He mentioned something to the effect of, if you're going to force us to retire, and with us being some of the stablemates of the league, the foundation, the backbone of the league, we've been around so long that, in his opinion, we shouldn't have to start from the bottom. If you're going to force us to retire, give us the opportunity to come back at least as a silver player and not have to build up right away. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that in total, but I like the premise of it. So I don't know. I mean, he makes good points. You made some fairly good points, because I know some people bring up the fact about stats and them being, unachievable if we stick around forever. That's not necessarily the case with me. Like, for example, when I first became owner of the Scorpions, my lead over the next guy in interceptions was I forget what it was, but it was pretty significant. And now if you look at it, I believe I'm only like 9, 10, or 11 interceptions ahead of the next closest guy. And that's because every season I tend to take pay cuts and big ones. You know, I've started several seasons as a bronze safety with 0 animations because I believe in everybody on the team eating, not just me. And so I take that, you know, and strip myself every season, animations, attributes, and give it to my team and say, hey, it's not all about me, it's about you guys. Sometimes I think I'm hurting the team because with me being a safety, I'm like often the last line of defense. And if something happens behind me, that's all as a touchdown. So I kind of keep that in mind too.
I think other coaches know that too.
Yeah,
they see that, and that's why sometimes get beat.
Sometimes I think moving forward, I might take that more into consideration when I'm signing my contract, because it takes me a while to get caught up sometimes. But I don't know. You make some good points, and I'm always willing to listen to anybody and everybody. But yeah, so I mean, obviously I can't play forever, you know, but I wouldn't mind it.
Well, you kind of went around and answered what I was going to ask you, which was what was your argument to the people that say the records wouldn't really be that special because you played forever, compared to somebody who, like I told her, the LeBron MJ thing. Everybody say, you know, some people, the younger people say LeBron's the GOAT. I think
MJ all day. Come on, man.
MJ is the GOAT. And the main argument for MJ is, dude, it took LeBron 6 or 7 more years to do what MJ did, and he's still in it. So
exactly. He don't have that killer instinct that MJ got. He don't have that killer instinct Kobe got. Come on now. Or had. But yeah, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, man. I don't agree with the records thing. It can be done. Look at my player. You know, look at season 14 when I first got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then now. And that lead is dissipating. It's only a matter of time, a few more seasons, maybe 2. I won't have that lead anymore if I keep signing my contract the way I've been doing. So it'll be gone.
Well, looking at it from your view, I could see, you know, somebody coming back with the argument of, well, that's, you know, that's for interceptions, fumbles, you know, stuff like that. But if you're looking at it like a running back or quarterback, they could make the argument, oh, well, they're playing, and you know, thinking about it, looking at it from your side, you can make the argument, well, if the quarterback sucks, they ain't gonna be playing that long. You know, they're gonna get pulled. Running back ain't working out. Bye. So I can see it, and that's why I like talking. You know, it gives me a different outlook on some stuff, and you changed my mind a little bit on some of that, and gave me something to think about, and you know, make me sit down and actually think about, you know, some of that stuff, like I said about the quarterback.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think, in my opinion, quarterback play, once your bill gets to a certain point, the quarterback play is more so on the coaches than it is that player. I don't. If the quarterback is playing bad, it's not because of the quarterback themselves. It's the coach's job to get them to the next level. You know, once your attributes get to a certain point, that's not on the quarterback anymore. That's on the coach.
Mm-hmm. 5 interceptions. Yeah, coach.
Okay, first of all, one was a Hail Mary.
I was waiting for it.
One was a Hail Mary. That's not on me. One was on Connor Weston dropping a touchdown pass. That's not on me. Mm-hmm. One was on Will dropping the pass. That's not on me. The other 2, that's me. The other 2 that I take full responsibility for. Now, I'm not saying Connor's to blame. I'm not saying Will is to blame themselves personally. I'm saying Connor was in the end zone, had it in his hands and dropped it. He got picked off. That's not on me. Will was what? There wasn't a defender within 8 yards of Will. And he bobbled and dropped it and he got intercepted. That's not on me. That's on. We just got a bad sim that day. I don't know what that is.
Hey,
maybe you're just throwing it too hard, Ashley. Maybe you're just throwing it too hard.
Yeah, you put too much on it.
I was the only one over here doing push-ups. You know.
Yeah, do something other than push-ups. You got too much arm strength.
Yeah, do some crunches or something. I don't know.
Switch it up. Yo, nuts, man. But a good conversation. I will definitely be having more hot topics coming up every show. Just what I've noticed people are kind of talking about in general chats or in other chats, things like that. And, just try to keep the conversation, either get one started or just keep it going. Maybe we could come to some good conclusions about that. But on to my fourth and goal interview, where I do have my girl Skippy and her beau, Chris Curtis, and Mr. David Leathers as well. So looking forward to hearing from all of them, and we'll be right back. All right, back with my fourth and goal interview. First up, we have Mr. David Leathers. He is the free safety for the Motor City V8s. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Ashley. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. It's good to have you back on. I think the last time you were on, you were a rookie.
Yeah, just getting ready to go into the draft. It was three seasons and change ago, so it's been a little minute since I've been on your show.
Wow, time is going by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
Crazy. Well, you are involved not only in the SFL, you are involved in a few other leagues that I'm in with you. So it's like I see you all the time. You're always active. And I'm trying to figure out how do you have the time to do all of that and still be active in everything,
Yeah, it's a juggling act for sure. And that's not even taking into account personal life stuff too. So I've always had my hand in in something, I guess. But
Indeed. So, since you haven't been on the show since the draft and everything, tell us about your draft experience. How was that and everything?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun being in the draft, and I would encourage everybody rookies that might be watching this that might go into that. Just know it's going to be like a process, and there's a lot of people to talk to. And if you're like me, I only played one game in the minors before going into the draft, so I actually didn't get picked till the very end of. I think there was a 3-round draft, the draft I was selected. So I was waiting around for some time, waiting to hear my name called, and I sort of knew that going in, but just know that everybody that gets, it doesn't really matter where you get picked, in my opinion. Is you make it up there at some point, and then you go into the league along with the person who picked first overall. So that would be my advice to the rookies. Just enjoy it, because it's a lot of fun, and it's fun. It's getting to see everybody else that you've been playing with and playing against in the minors get drafted as well.
Mm-hmm. What was your experience like on the minors? You were at Tacoma Grizzly, right?
So I actually played with Annapolis, but just for one game, and it was actually against Tacoma. It was like the final game of the season. But it was a great experience. I got to play just that one game along with some pretty great people. Bailey O'Shaughnessy now with Denver, and Guy Clausen is my teammate in Motor City now. We're a couple guys that I played with there. And yeah, Jeff Gagne was a coach on that team. So definitely. I feel like I had a really great introduction to the league with like that group of people specifically. So,
was the Motor City VX, or formerly known as St. Louis, was that the team you were drafted to originally?
No, I was actually drafted by the DC Dragons. Big shout out to those guys over there, and I played there for my first 2 seasons in the league. Actually, I was a cornerback with those guys, and then after 2 seasons in, I had some friends over here in formerly St. Louis, now Motor City. They said, "Hey, come on over. We'd love to play with you." And I figured at that point it might be a good time for a career switch. Love my time in DC 100%, but I think playing with your friends is also, there's value in that too, I think. So
nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's the reason why we have 1 season contracts, So if you do decide you want to go test the water somewhere else, you're definitely welcome to do that. I mean, you're paying your money, and as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Now, you said you started off as a cornerback and you went over to free safety. Why the switch?
Yeah, so when I had originally built my player, I actually made him as a strong safety. And so he played just the one game in the minors with Annapolis. I played at strong safety. Then when I was chatting with DC prior to them selecting me in the draft, they said, "Hey, we'd love to have you at cornerback if that's something that you'd like to do." And I said, "Sure, let's do it. I'm I wasn't married. I did build my guy as a safety, but I figured he could be versatile to play cornerback or free. I'm playing free safety now, so I figured he can maybe move around the secondary a little bit. I think that's one of the advantages of building a defensive back in this league. You can move them about. So yeah, I went. DC asked me to play corner, and I did that for 2 seasons. And then even my 3rd season with St. Louis, I played cornerback. And then just this past off season, with the departure, we had departure of Geralt Winkler, who was our free safety last season, left an opening for me to go play safety. So I'm excited to be back playing sort of the position that I'd initially envisioned my guy playing.
Right? It came full circle for you in a sense, huh?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So tell me, what's the difference between DC Dragons locker room and V8 Motor City's locker room?
Yeah, I think like I said, I really liked my time with DC. I thought they had a very good locker room. And I think we have a good locker room as well with the V8s. I mean, everybody's. I'd say both teams, people are engaged and chatting, and sometimes would watch the games, do like voice chat during the games and stuff. I've seen that on both teams, and nothing negative to say about either of them, I guess. Yeah, and they're both pretty. Also, I would say both teams, from my personal experience, both teams are receptive to feedback. Right? They're very welcoming. That actually helped with scouting a little bit when I was in DC, and now here in Motor City as well. They're also very receptive to feedback, or hey, if you guys see something, please bring it to us, and we're happy to take that into consideration for game planning purposes. So,
Gotcha. Do you envision yourself doing something more than scouting, or do you already do more things in scouting for the league and for your team?
I'm currently not. And as you mentioned, I'm in some other leagues and kept pretty busy with those. We're in a hockey league that I do quite a bit for. So it's sort of, like I said, it is that juggling act. I certainly think at this point I'm capable of doing probably more than I am doing at this present time in the SFL. But I'm not sure. We'll have to sort of see, down the road if the team specifically requests me to, do something like that, I'd be happy to, or, maybe something else will open up. But I'm open, I guess. Open to more. Yeah, sure.
Cool. And then you don't want to put too much on your plate because you do have other responsibilities besides, you got your real life and everything to deal with too. So I definitely understand that.
Absolutely.
Whew, let's talk about something that might be a little difficult for you to talk about right now. That is this past game against the Indianapolis Ramblers. Man, 63-10. Bro, what happened?
And so I keep a spreadsheet of my entire history of a few different leagues. We have the SFL in there. Every game I've played in, and that was by far the biggest margin of defeat of any game I've played in, as you might guess. Just a tough game, I think. It's because football is such a team sport. I think if things aren't working, like in that for this game specifically that we just lost to Indianapolis, things aren't working on the offensive side of the ball. It just really starts to spiral, right? Or maybe vice versa for the defense. We gave up, a certain amount of points, and then the offense starts playing in a way that they're not really structured to play typically, just because of the margin that they have to make up before the end of the fourth quarter. So I think just sort of digging ourselves that hole in the beginning of the game just sort of caused a, lack of a better word, just a downward spiral for the remaining time. And obviously all credit goes out to Indianapolis. I mean, they have a very solid, first year team over there. Brad Jones was just running all over our defense. It felt like all game long. I mean, some really spectacular players and coaching over there too. So I don't think it's any one factor that sort of went into it. I think it was a multitude of things. But sort of, I also sort of an anomaly, I think. I mean, we've been competitive and won some games this season as well. So it's important to just look at it as one game, put it behind us, and move on to the next one. We've got another one coming up this weekend. So,
indeed. And who are you playing this weekend?
We will be playing Los Angeles, who is a team I've also sort of tracked for myself to see have I played against this team in my career or not previously. And it's a team I haven't actually played before, so I'm kind of excited because I know a few people over there, like Chris Lee and Rochelle, a few people from other leagues and stuff. So it'll be fun to like play someone new for me personally.
What are your thoughts on it? What do you think you guys are going to have to do to win the game?
Yeah, so it's I believe it's a road game if I remember correctly.
It
So
is.
that's always a little bit tougher in the SFL or any league, I think. So yeah, it'll be important to not obviously do what we did last game and fall into a deep hole at the beginning. I think if we can keep it close, even if we do fall behind, at least if we're not falling behind by 2-3 scores, if we can keep it within that sort of 1 or 10 point sort of range, I think we'll have a much better chance of finishing the game with a victory. So that's sort of what I'm going to be watching to see is how is the first quarter and into the second quarter sort of going for us.
Okay. In your opinion, we're growing in the league. I believe we have over 1,800 people in the server as of right now, last time I checked.
Wow.
So it seems that we're going to be, now don't take, I would say in the future, we will be expanding to the 32 teams eventually. Where would you like to see a team go? Because I've heard different things. Personally, I love Tokyo Samurai, and I mentioned
Nice.
something about like Australia or things like that. Well, what would you like to see a team, either internationally or national?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question to start thinking about now, I think, because I do agree with you. It sort of feels inevitable that we are going to grow to, at least that 32 team mark at some point. Me personally, I live in the Midwest, so that with this most recent expansion, there, we added some Midwest teams, and obviously St. Louis went over to Motor City, so we sort of covered the Midwest region now in some ways, which I think was sort of like somewhat of a hole that was there, and now we've done that. So, yeah, I think internationally could be really cool. We already have an international league with Vancouver and Mexico City, obviously, but
And London.
And London, exactly. So I think there's opportunities for more international teams. And I think it would be great. We have some other leagues that I'm in, like our hockey league. We've got some, like a Europe division, basically. So,
Right.
yeah, that could be a lot of fun. Or like you said, Tokyo, like Asia, right? We don't have any Asian teams currently. So, yeah, I think any of those could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Just trying to get some ideas and maybe get some dialogue going as to where people would want to see them, because ultimately you do have to make sure that there's a market for that. Wherever you go, they have to. It's ideal that they'll be able to watch the games, because it's representing your country or representing your state or whatnot. So you just want to make sure it's accessible. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. Baltimore is undefeated and London is undefeated currently. Who do you think will fall first and why?
Oh man, that is a really good question.
Or are they just both going to be undefeated to the end of the span?
Well, it's funny that in past they would have been in the same division, so they would have played each other. I don't have their schedules up, but I don't think they probably aren't scheduled to play each other now.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so man, maybe I'll defer to the defending champs, and I'll say London will take the first loss, just off of that deference. But both, I was looking at the standings recently because I was doing my who you got picks this week, and you're right, both of those teams are phenomenal. And I'd be not surprised at all if they both run the table, and then go into the playoffs undefeated. I could totally envision that happening.
Definitely have the potential to,
Absolutely.
But even Baltimore didn't go into the playoffs unscathed last season. We handed them a loss, and then I want to say DC. I think they lost to DC too. I think. But I know, it's very difficult to maintain a undefeated record because people are learning, people are growing. You have scouts now. If you have multiple scouts, then you're pretty much set. You're golden because you have a lot of eyes on the same product that can give you different viewpoints. So I think, Baltimore definitely has some kind of a secret that they know. Maybe because they've been in the league since it began. When you have all of that practice, as
That's right.
coaches, to be able to see what works, what not, and probably tested many, many, many more sims versus everybody else. So it'll be interesting. Did you have any questions? Did you have anything that you wanted to get off your chest, so to speak, or just to speak on before I let you go today? Because I do know that you're working too, so I appreciate it.
Sure. No, nothing to say it with my chest, with necessarily today. I'm enjoying my time in the SFL with everybody, and I just have fun watching the games and, seeing how it all plays out. Totally agree with you about Baltimore. I mean, just all the seasons of experience and the repetition. I mean, it's invaluable, I think. So there's a reason for the success they're having for sure. But yeah, I think question. Tell me about your season. We talked about Motor City a little bit. Tell me about Arizona. How are things going over there for you guys? I see you've been winning some games, right? So that's one thing going in the positive direction at least.
Definitely sitting there 4-2. I mean, it's good. This last game was very scary because I was on pins and needles the entire time. There was no way I was comfortable. Then the 5 interceptions that I threw, then the fumble from DJ. We had so many mistakes and shortcomings in that game, but just to win by 1 point. And then at the end, when it was I think it was 1 minute and 4 seconds left, we were just like, listen, I'm not throwing the ball. I'm not throwing it. You're not running it, DJ. Cliff, you're not kicking it. We're just gonna let the time just run right out, because we've been through enough already. We don't want to lose it. And so we were kind of laughing about that in the locker room, how, they could have went and kicked the field goal, but then it probably would have been blocked, then ran back for a touchdown or something crazy.
Right.
So it's been fun. Eddie has been trying different looks, different game plans, different plays to see what works for us. Even taking the advice of Mighty and thinking outside the box a little bit, because you can always go to your go-to favorites that work, but then people are going to realize that you like doing that. Yep. And we're going to find out how to stop you. So I think just incorporating new game plans is something that we're doing that seems to be beneficial. Now, to that point, sometimes it just doesn't work out either. Sometimes they'll be right where you throw the ball and capitalize off that. Or, our defense is excellent. Our defense keeps us in a lot of games and saves us too. But everything is a work in progress. As we know, Eddie is a defensive coach. He's defensive minded, always has been. So with him taking on that role as being an offensive coordinator as well, it's a learning curve, but ultimately he's getting it, So we're going to see how everything shakes out in the end. And my goal is to actually have a better record than Canton and Seattle, particularly because we have a bet going on, and I will not let them forget about it.
I do remember watching that episode of yours a while ago talking about that. So yeah, curious to see how that plays out this season. But seems like you're off to a good start at least. So
yeah, we're gonna hope. There's still a lot of season left to play.
It's very true. And every week is so different in the SFL. I mean, I think that's part of what makes it really hard to go undefeated is that each team presents a very different challenges, and every game is different. So that's something I love about the league.
Exactly. And even with the camaraderie and the family oriented mindset of the league, you can leave, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to come back because either you missed the game, you missed seeing your player out there, or you missed the community. And I think that our community is the best community out there. We're so active, and about my situation. I don't know if I would have gotten the same outreach and support from any other group, let alone being on the internet, because you don't know what you have, you don't know what you're getting on the internet. Anybody can pose to be something that they're not. case in point, a little fun thing. So I use Chris Brown songs sometimes when I'm doing my TikTok videos, doing push-ups or just doing whatever. I like the vibes that he has. So I guess his fans see that, and now I have about, I don't know, 10, 15 different Chris Browns just trying to follow me. Hey, you're a fan of mine. No, not a fan of yours. I know your game. I know what you're trying to do.
Right.
The real Chris Brown follows nobody. So
sounds about right. Yeah.
But yeah, so you never know. I said all that to say you never know what you're gonna get on the internet. Some people can pretend like there's something else or to be something else. But when you're in this league, I don't get that. So it's good. It's a good place to be, a good thing to be a part of, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt.
Anything else? Any other questions you have for me?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, like I said, good luck to you guys, you in Arizona. Hope you have a good rest of the season.
You too. Y'all
yeah,
too.
thanks. Motor City, yeah, I mean, we're 2-4. I don't know, obviously we're trying to make the playoffs here, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I think we all knew that this was going to be, somewhat of a rebuilding year for us. I mean, we lost a pretty large quantity of players from last season into this season, and it's our first season at, with relocation too. So there's just a lot of changes going on with the team at the moment, but yeah, we'll keep it going. I think I have like 5 interceptions so far, so that's
Hey.
Me personally, I'm enjoying that. So try and pick off a few more passes here.
Look, if you was playing me, you probably would have got one.
I don't know. I don't think you guys are on our schedule this year.
We're not.
Yeah,
We're
we'll have to see about that in a future season, perhaps.
Indeed. Well, David, it was a pleasure having you on the show always. But you know how it goes. I can't let you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or just a simple shout out to whomever you like. Right now, David, the floor is yours.
Oh yeah, thanks again for having me. So big shout out to you. I always love watching your shows. The SFL Nights. It's always a good time, and that's I don't know. Shout out to everybody with Motor City. Hang in there, guys. It's been been a bit of a rocky start, but we'll get this thing turned around at some point. And shout out to everyone in the league. I always enjoy hanging and watching the games with you guys. It's always a lot of fun. So something I look forward to.
Fantastic. Hey, and you can come back on anytime you want to. You don't have to wait a whole 3 years.
I know. Yeah, I feel like so much has happened since we last chatted. We'll try. Yeah, definitely try and make time to do this again sometime in the nearer future.
Yeah, well, just let me know when you're ready, and I can even have you come on and just co-host with me sometimes, and we can go over some of these games together whenever you have time.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun.
All right, David. See you soon, brother.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
All right, then. Bye. Welcome back to my 4th and Goal interview. And tonight's guest, one of a few that I will have. Oh, it's going to be one of my favorite couples in the league. And they are Mr. Chris Curtis and Miss, my baby, Skippy. How you doing?
What's up, Ash?
What's going on, girl? What's going on?
Hey, I'm chilling. I'm so glad to have both of you on at the same time. This is going to be interesting.
It usually is.
We're so sorry.
Yeah, sorry in advance.
In advance. I already got the disclaimers out there, guys, so we're all So what's been going on with y'all? I'm so glad to see y'all.
Not a ton. We've been chilling, getting more involved with the league and our teams, and trying to balance responsibilities with that, along with responsibilities of life. And summer's winding down, so
I'm getting baby Skippy back to school, and all the chaos that goes with that.
Girl, don't I know it? Coming from transferring from another state, then trying to get them in school. I feel your pain. I did.
It's hard enough just getting her back into the one school. I can't imagine what you're going through.
It was actually easier than I thought it would be, but still, it was still a lot to do in a little time. So, but hey, I'm glad everything's starting to shape up for you guys. Now, let's talk about the games that happened over the weekend. So, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to. I know Skippy, Carolina won their game.
Yes, we did.
Yes. Chris, did y'all win yours?
We were on a bye.
Oh, you're on the bye. Okay, so y'all were just resting. Y'all was just Andy just sitting back chilling.
But what that
just
means
watching.
is that we didn't lose. So at least there's that.
There you go. But you didn't win either. So it's kind of like I don't like that.
0 losses on the weekend. We got it.
We're partying in the Curtis household.
I like that. I like that. So Skippy, tell me about that win. Tell me about what was going on through your mind through the game.
Oh, I was hoping it was a few ups and downs, a lot more ups than downs this week, and I was watching our offense get better. I was watching our defense just absolutely slam. It was incredible, and I was so excited. And I'm proud of my coaches. I'm proud of our team.
Yeah, because a lot of times you guys get that, that rap, what was the slogan that you guys had? And I was like, oh my God, y'all need to. I don't even think I could say it.
I couldn't tell you.
I just remembered it. It's embrace the. I'm just not sure if I can finish that statement, but it's. But it's
That's
like when
new one. I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that one?
No.
Wait. What and who are we embracing?
Pause. Big pause.
Embrace the suck. Remember? You gotta remember that slogan for Carolina.
No, I don't.
Because
that's a new one.
They were sucking so much that they were just like, hey, you might as well just. That's part of the culture for us not to win. Which I was like, no, don't do that. I mean, they've changed it since then. I haven't seen it, so. But,
I mean, we still suck, just not on the field.
There. Wow.
Oh my God. Well, that's how you keep your man. Anyway, so. But with that,
there goes the neighborhood.
Chris, what are you thinking about Vancouver's season so far?
It's again more ups and downs. We had a coin flip game against Baltimore, which we were pretty proud of that. Yes, we lost, but which we're not happy about. But when we can take the defending champs to essentially last couple minutes of the game and still have a shot to win, we aren't gonna fret too much. DC, the other team we lost to, good team in their own right. We definitely had some things to work on after that game, but we're getting it rounded. You
guys took them to overtime.
Yeah, we're getting around it. Either way, and making sure that we are good to go. Season for Vancouver, I would say, really doesn't begin until playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that'll be the same this season. It's still a long road to get there. Still got to keep our due diligence, make sure we're doing what we need to do, and ultimately we'll be okay.
Absolutely.
No way to go but up.
Down straight. Now, on Who You Got, how serious do the both of you take the Who You Gots? Because I'm looking at this what the community chose for Carolina and Seattle. Of course, they have you winning 161 to 26, people. And of course, you guys were on the buys. But how serious do you guys take that?
As a member of the broadcast team, I take it somewhat serious because it tells me kind of where the sentiment is league-wide as far as where the game could go, both in my game and Skippy's game, because we watch both games pretty much together
every week.
And then the game that I broadcast as well. It's just making sure we know where the pulse is at. I mean, you have that, and then you have the the fantasy league that's getting put together by a couple people, Stephen Hacker being one of them.
Mhm.
Jack Wall, the other one, I think. But then you have also the the Andy Hamilton Pick'em League that goes on in his Discord. There's a lot of different places where you can go to catch the pulse of the league and see where everybody's sentiment's at for just about every matchup in the league that goes on any particular day. So I like seeing where everybody's heads at, and we can use that as in the position that I'm in with the broadcast team. We can use that to our advantage because we can reference those things when talking about the game at large, and really surprise some people when they find out that their votes and their opinions actually make it to air in a lot of cases.
Right. And Skippy, what about you? How serious?
I should have gone first because I can't top that. I don't take who you got as seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I take who you got as more of a population input.
Mm.
But I do participate in Andy Hamilton's pick'ems for the week, and it's a whole lot more of a competition to see who's picked better this week, who's gonna be on top. And as far as on top right now, Nate Hall has been holding the number one spot,
much to our chagrin.
Mm-hmm. And I take that a whole lot more seriously, but solely because of the competition for it.
Gotcha. Now, all the content creators that we have here, I'm curious to know from your perspectives, what do you think we could add, or is there maybe a niche that we are missing as content creators that you think the league would want to hear from? Because we deliver the stats, I do the interviews, you can have the panels. But in your opinions, is there something else that we as content creators could do to kind of separate ourselves so our information doesn't become redundant?
Actually, I think Cam might have something in the works for that, or if he's not already doing it, I'm not up to date. The people behind the players, I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Yeah, except for we're still seeing a lot of that with the content creators. They'll pull interviews with, like, for example, you and I, like Ashley's doing right now.
Well, that's true.
So I as far as the getting the pulse of the league, I think the content creators do a pretty incredible job of that.
That's true. Given
the resources, I can't pinpoint something right offhand.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I love the different content that comes out of basically every corner of the SFL, and the differing opinions that come from those. The personalities that make the content. You, Ashley, are very different from, say, like an O'Neill for his podcast, for also different from like a Tyler Falk for Netma,
Mm-hmm.
or Axel Raven for Fights and Insights. So yeah, it's a I think you guys, like, the differing personalities is its own niche, essentially, and it's very entertaining to see where those opinions, what those opinions of those different personalities show, if that makes sense.
It does. Now, broadcast. You both win. Stop it.
It's not a competition, though.
Right. Well, one of you win, you both win. That's how I think about it. So, with all of the new members in the league, I think the last time I checked, we have a total of about 1,800 people, 1,800 plus people in the server. Mm-hmm. Now, not everyone is actually active as a player, but it's still incredible. Are you guys finding it still difficult to find people to want to broadcast with you, or maybe want to join the stats team, things like that? Because I try to promote it every time I have the newbies come on the show, the rookies come on, like, hey, what you want to do? I could point you in the right direction where you want to go. But like, even for you, Skippy, I would love to hear you on a call. Like, I would love to hear you do color commentating, because I really think that you could do it. I really think that you could. Now, you two together, I don't know. I don't think
That goes on. We'll put that on a preseason game. How's that sound?
You're actually not the first person to say that. But I don't think I'm meant for camera, and I'm not meant for broadcasting.
Oh no.
Mike
Skippy, you're
Daggs
very
may or may
beautiful.
not agree with that statement. I'm not entirely sure which one. But to answer your question, brutally honestly, first of all, thank you for referring, because that honestly helps those that come into the league and they hear your show and they be like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into something like that. I firmly believe that your show and shows like yours that do call out those things do generate some entrance into the broadcasting world, which helps me out. I typically see 100% of the applications that come through for new broadcasters and get to talk to them and try them out, and that's always an interesting dynamic.
He's the guy.
But then and I would say that those that don't get through the broadcast team, more or less initiation, I guess you can call it, then might end up in the stats team, or some people may not be meant for broadcast entirely and they just go right to the stats team. That happens too. Always looking for more people just to make sure we have our ranks fitted out, even if we're full for the regular season. Right now we've got SFLM starting in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever the case is, and that's a great place for new and enthusiastic broadcasters to cut their teeth, get behind a microphone and call a game. It's not just for the rookies, it's not just for the players that are prospecting to get drafted. It's for those that are trying to make their own mark in this league, in this community, and it's fun to see every single time somebody who's brand new, somebody that I tried out and brought into the team, and then they make pardon the hashtag, they make their own impact. And the pun, I know, but no, it's great to see, and so no, there's no shortage of people that want to do it. Sometimes there's a shortage of people who can do it because we have a pretty stringent list of requirements, but the requirements are meant to better the atmosphere as a whole.
Understood. And Skippy, stop telling me what you don't think you can do. I believe that you can go right out there and you can call it just like Rachel, just like I did, and you probably did better than both of us. You never know. And you are beautiful, and you are beautiful. Don't be trying to tell me that you can't tell me anything different, because I've seen your pictures. So
we don't talk about ourselves that way.
Well, you should
say that on this show. I can't say what I want to say.
I mean, you could. It's just going to be probably in cut scenes and the bloopers.
Deleted scenes.
Deleted scenes.
I hear you, girl. I hear you. I am far too camera shy. I stumble over my words when I get all anxious, and public speaking has been a really, really anxiety-ridden thing for
Just
me.
imagine everyone in their underwear. It'd be fine.
Yes. I can't tell what you be on my show like.
Well, I like you.
I'll be
listening. Say that about everybody.
And that's an honor. But I'll be listening. Just think about you just talking to me, Skippy. When you're up there in the booth, just say, "Hey, I'm just talking to Ashley. Nobody's here but Ashley." Maybe that'll help. And maybe Curtis.
I see you.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to find the balls to do so.
For lack of a better term, yeah.
No.
Sorry.
All right. Let me ask you something. Do you think there should be mandatory retirement after a certain amount of seasons for any player in the league? Now I'm going to put it to you kind of like this.
Yeah, give me some qualifiers.
People that think about this. You are investing in your player, right? Every time you play your subscription, every time you invest in those points and the time that you're putting in it, this is your baby. This is your player. So on the one hand, like, why should anybody tell me when I should retire when this is what I'm investing in? I mean, if I'm investing in something else, that's not going to if I'm investing in property, you're not going to tell me to sell my property. So why would I do that? Or you can look at it like this. Spots are limited in the league, even like for quarterbacks and everything else. So for those persons that want that chance to be a star running back or a quarterback or a wide receiver, maybe 20 seasons should be the max. What do y'all think about that?
Go ahead. I see your wheels turning.
I'm not 100% sure. I want to hear your opinion first. Go for it.
So, understanding that spots are limited, I know that the big dream, in all quotations, for the SFL is to grow the franchise, right? And this company is in fact growing so much that I don't think that it should be a mandatory retirement. In my opinion, it would deter players from coming in, because you're right. You put in all this time, you put in all this effort, you put in the progressions and the finance to it, and to be told after even 20 seasons, like these veterans here, that you can't play anymore, you're gonna have to start from scratch, would be a devastating blow.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that mandatory retirement should be a thing, but I've been floating this idea in my brain, and we'll see where it goes. But I like the idea of regression after so many seasons. And if you do choose to retire your player, you have the option to start from scratch. But maybe you start from scratch under a different name. Maybe you start from scratch in a different position. And you carve a new legacy out after that season is done. Or after that first player is done, you create a new one and you carve a new legacy. Climb up the all-time leaderboards at a different position. And so that it does create a new spot in the position that you are vacating with the retirement after it's done. Or if you choose to do so, or you can let him regress until no one wants to sign him. That happens too. But it adds a level of immersion into it. It adds some critical thinking and some decision making as an owner, as a player, as a general manager, or even just a coaching staff in general, saying, does it make sense for us to keep this person on the roster if they're regressing at the rate that they are? That's a possibility. I mean, leave it up to the players, leave it up to the coaching staffs and that for recommendations and all that. But I think, maybe you start small in regression after 15 seasons, but then it starts to get a little more prevalent as the seasons wear on. So you may get to 20 seasons, you may get to 23 seasons, and those regressions start to happen a lot more frequently.
So how far would, as an example, a player would progress? Would they go all the way back to being a bronze?
My thought process right off the hop is, if you are normally a gold player at the ratings that you have, you start to see progression caps that are a little more stringent as your player, quote unquote, gets older. And so what would normally be a gold player maybe ends up at a silver in their 20th season. They go out and they go down an entire star rank. And then as they get, maybe they go down to a bronze as they get into their 23rd season, 24th season, whatever the case is. It's entirely possible. You add that element to it. I mean, and there are going to be some that like the idea. There are going to be some that like, no, I don't. But that's the beauty of this league, is that there's so many different personalities and opinions. It doesn't hurt to explore the options,
right,
and think about it from somebody else's perspective.
This counters with the theory that the SFL has the best medic on the planet.
Well, we don't send our players to the Fountain of Youth. We just send them to the best doctors that can repair a torn ACL in a matter of 7 days.
Hey, maybe there's some aging tonic somewhere. You don't know.
And talk to Ron Cochran about that.
It's the high quality
Inside their medical
H2O.
bag.
It's the high quality H2O they have on the sideline.
The high quality H2O. I like it. I
That's
like
not
it.
good. You can't get it anywhere else.
Oh God. All right. So best team. Who is the best team in the league right now? And do not say your own.
Until somebody proves differently, it's Baltimore. I don't think there's any other. I don't think there's any other real alternative to that really right now. Until somebody beats them and dethrones them, and then, even as somebody on a team like myself who is probably top 3-4 in this league right now, to say it's not Baltimore, I think is untrue. I think they've got the entire package. They've had the entire package for a couple of seasons now, and they continue to get better seemingly every single season. So I like the foundation of that team, to be honest with you. And yes, are they beatable? Yeah. Has anyone figured them completely out yet? No.
Skippy?
I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it is hard not to. I believe they're still undefeated. They started off undefeated the past few seasons they started off undefeated. And, it may take a Arizona Scorpion to, beat them, But, that is, they're
Shout out to the Scorpions.
right? They know I love them. But that is something I can't think of another team really that's doing the things that they do on a consistent level. It's like they have the secret to All Pro, and they run it with it. Period. That's why they're so effective. I saw
Who gave them the key?
I don't know. But can I get a copy? That's what I'm saying.
Right. Hit me with one of them duplicates, my dude.
Got you. Where is an expansion city that you guys want to see a team next? Now, I'm sure with all of these people, like I said, it's about 1,800 in the Discord so far. Where would you like to see another team, either in the United States or around the world?
Alaska.
You want to go back to Alaska?
I would like to see an Alaskan team or a Hawaiian team. That'd be cool.
Okay. Because Florida, the Florida Storm were the Alaska Storm at one time.
And I believe,
now they're not. They're the Florida Storm, so they're still uncharted territory.
And wasn't Carolina Honolulu at one point? The Honolulu.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
That is well before my time.
Yeah, that's going to be before my time too. I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah. So there is a groundswell of support to put another team potentially into the Mexican landscape, somewhere other than Mexico City. Not sure exactly the situation there, but I think either another Mexican team or another Canadian team, I think wouldn't go amiss. You can put, it wouldn't. I don't think it would be split support because, like, for example, you have Canada, Vancouver's on one side of the country, and then you have the entire east side of the country that I'm sure a team in Ontario would go really well. Right. You have Toronto over there. You have Hamilton over there. You have both of which with pretty rich, Canadian football history in their own right. Or you can even go into Alberta with Calgary. So you have some options there. You have in Mexico, you could do Tijuana. You could do any number of places else. So I think there's still room
Sorry about that. You can go ahead. Oh.
All
Sorry
right,
about
we're
that.
back.
Yes, you are. Sorry about that. Pardon the interruption.
Act 2.
Indeed. But you can go ahead and finish your thought, Skip. Kurt.
The thought was Canada and Mexico. Ultimately, because you could put a team on the east side of Canada, in Ontario, or even don't go as far east as maybe that. Go Calgary or even Edmonton in Alberta could be a thought. Otherwise, you could go, somewhere like Tijuana in Mexico, and there'd be a groundswell of support. I think either way. And it'd be kind of fun to see it. And adding a second team in Mexico, I think would also prioritize the need for either a Spanish simulcast or a translation at some point as well, as the teams as the league starts to get exposure south of the border.
Good stuff.
So,
that's good, because I was actually thinking about having a team in Australia, or like I still want to see one in Tokyo. I want to see one in Tokyo so bad.
The only challenges that would happen with a team in those locations are very similar to the challenges we have with the team in London, and that's really the time difference.
That's a good point.
Being able to have them in, and also communication with a team in Tokyo, because chances are good that a team in Tokyo, if there is there may be a difficulty with a language barrier at that point. So it could have happened. Sure. It absolutely could. It would present some unique challenges that the league would have to innovate past. But it could happen.
Like we do everything else. Got automation.
Yep.
So people don't have to do all this the extra groundwork and everything else. So yeah, make it work.
Make it work. I like it.
Awesome. So, what do you see your teams ending up in the grand scheme of things? Do you think that you're gonna? Well, Chris, you actually said y'all gonna be in the playoffs. So, you know that. Skip, what do you think Carolina's gonna wind up this season?
I would like to see us in playoffs. I think we got the stuff to make it to playoffs. We're getting better week by week. We're learning our opponents week by week, and every week is a challenge. Yeah, but I believe that we can do it.
A competitive Carolina team is good for the SFL.
I agree. So, is there anything you guys want to talk about before I end this? Y'all want to talk about anything that maybe you've seen in the league that you want to maybe have some questions about, or if you have some questions for me about anything? Or
that's all you got.
You always catch me off guard with this question.
Yeah, but you know it's coming.
I know. Don't put this all on me. Say something.
I got nothing.
Give the people something.
I got nothing.
Tell them a joke.
Or you can talk about your stream, because you guys, y'all have one of the craziest streams.
Yeah,
No.
you hit the trigger. Okay, so
I'm so sorry.
So actually, there's always something a little bit risque about having Skippy on a microphone, and I think we've all determined that just by this podcast. But
I've been tame.
you have.
I've been trying real hard.
Yeah, your effort is appreciated. That said, we do, and this is open to anybody in the SFL that wants to be able to be a part of it. But we do community nights for Mario Kart. Not just with the SFL, but other communities sometimes get in touch with us, and we'll have get everybody together, and we'll all race, and it's a good time. We tell jokes, we make fun of each other, we run each other over with just with carts and shells, and
hit by the bombs.
Yeah, hit by the bombs and lightning bolts, and it's all a really good time, and everybody is laughing and joking and carrying on, and we absolutely want everybody to be we want everybody to be a part of it if they want to be. If you guys have a Switch, if you have Mario Kart, definitely join up. Twitch.tv/Curtis is where you'll find that. Usually once a week we all get together, and there's other streams going on throughout the week there too. But yeah, it's a good time had by just about everybody, unless you're Skippy, who gets tired of losing his competitive all the time. Which is exactly what was going through her brain as I said that, I'm sure, looking at her face. So yeah, it's a good time. And
I'm so bad at Mario Kart.
Girl, you and me both. Embarrassed. My son is 6 years old, can outplay me in Mario Kart. I'm like, what kind of mess is this?
So does my 6-year-old. It's so crazy.
And then talk smack about it. Mommy, you lose. I see that I lost.
I know. Shut up. I know I lost.
Exactly.
Sounds like your kid too.
Oh, gosh. But
So Curtis I'm gonna botch this, so you tell the people about your records and things.
Oh, okay. So the other streams that are on that channel that we do, besides the community nights where we get everybody together, I speedrun Mario Kart tracks. And what that essentially means is there's a subset of 4, 16, 32, 48 tracks.
69 tracks.
No. Nice.
you would.
And you just try to get through those tracks as fast as possible.
Okay.
Through all of the variables like items and other racers or whatever the case is, you try to finish the races as fast as you possibly can, factoring in load times, factoring in button presses. You compare your time against world ranking times on speedrun.com. And I've been fortunate enough to have top 10, sometimes top 5 times in
don't even with the I'm fortunate. You work for that.
I mean, you're right. Thank you. I appreciate it. But the fact of the matter is it's the top 10, top 5 times in world rankings in those categories on speedrun.com, and continuing to practice, continuing to find time to save is, it's a grind, but it's fun. And this 5-year-old game is continuing to push out new content that is creating avenues for more work to be done to save time, to find the fastest way to do it. I've been able to get a couple of other people in the league involved in it. Andy Hamilton, of course, and then Harish Prasad. And then Mike Torillo was also running Mario Kart along with me, and didn't realize that we were running the same game.
Nice.
So we've been doing that side by side. In fact, we just had a 48 race marathon that we streamed, which was a lot of fun to do, and we're gonna eventually do that again. So it's the community nights are fun, the speedrunning's fun. I dare say that the Mario Kart game is the unofficial non-football related game of the SFL.
Okay.
And it's been a lot of fun to bring community members in.
Inner community game.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm digging it.
So,
I'm digging it.
Yep.
Now, what about these shakes, though? That's what I was waiting for you to.
These shakes.
Yeah. So apparently the crazy milkshakes or the shakes concoctions that you decide. I've heard some.
You've heard some stories.
Some strange.
My own concoction.
Right.
All of them are your own concoction.
So he has a what would you call it? So you get channel points, right?
Right.
Well, Curtis calls them punishment points.
And I'm the one who gets punished.
And I took that to the fullest extent. He stupidly gave me permissions to edit his punishment points and what you can do with them, and his sound bits. Noob.
Yeah.
So I put in there, you have to pay it's like 2,500 punishment points for a snack a la Skippy.
She'll go and make me a snack and throw some random concoction of BS into the glass, and blend it up, and say, "Here, drink this," and guess what it is?
He has to tell me what's in the drink,
Sometimes
or if it's a snack, he has to tell me what's inside the snack, and it's not always bad, but most of the time it's bad because it's that much more fun.
What was the worst
She'll
one?
be like, "Hey, it's a chocolate shake with Oreos and Worcestershire sauce."
Unfortunately for me, I do not get the reactions that I'm looking for because half the time he can't even taste the bad thing that's in it.
Right.
Really?
Yes.
Because you don't put
Here's
enough
the
in it?
strawberry shake. What's the secret ingredient? Oh, it's hummus. What? Yeah.
This flavor actually works well. Pairs well together.
That's happened once or twice.
There's been a couple of times where I make him a strawberry milkshake and I'd use like yogurt and all sorts of other things to put into the strawberry milkshake, and I'd put like Skittles on top to throw him off, but I would put sriracha in with the milkshake, and he's like, I can't even taste it. I'm like, well, I gotta do up the ante. Come on. I need to be better now.
Oh, man.
What was the worst one? Skippy, what was the worst concoction that you can remember that you made for him? And do you remember this, Chris? And was it really that bad?
I made him at one point in time. I had made him I think it was a coffee milkshake. I used like coffee ice cream and a mint chocolate chip Klondike bar. And I put some Oreos in it and made it look all nice. And I like rimmed the glass and put stuff on top, like rimmed the glass with chocolate and put the stuff on top. And I used hot dog water.
Yep, that's memorable. Couldn't figure out what the heck was wrong with it.
I was on the floor crying.
Just laughing hysterically. It tasted weird. I'm like, but this looks so good.
Please make that face again.
No. Can't like it. Cannot like it.
Oh my god.
I still don't remember the taste of that one.
I can't. Man, I can only imagine the shock your whole body went through just to see something, and then
I was petrified.
So with Curtis's streams, with specifically with community night, he keeps telling people, you don't have to have a Switch to join us for community night.
That's fair.
He's got his own server in Discord. Just join the server, jump into the Discord. There's a few of our friends that join us almost every time, and they don't even have a Switch.
Right. Yep, that's fair. And you're welcome to do so. You're welcome to join if you do have a Switch. You know, it's not limited to those who do. But so that means that if you want to be in voice chat with us and joke around, play around while you're doing your own thing, by all means, it's community, and we it's to promote people coming in and kind of letting loose after games for the week, and just kind of get a good fresh start for the new week coming in. And it's been a lot of fun to grow that and see new and old faces come in. We see Andy and Harish, like obviously with Jason France comes in, obviously Skippy, Mike Torillo's there. Justin Reside pops in. We get Cam every once in a while who pops in and says hello, and it's just a friendly place where sometimes we rib each other, but more often than not, it's all love, and we like the friendliness of it, and we welcome those that are listening now and those that will listen in the future to come hop in and join up.
Fantastic.
And these people aren't just like, oh, Andy Hamilton, the owner of Vancouver Legion, you know, or Harish Prasad, the owner of Carolina Skyhawks.
We don't care
or
what
Cam, the commissioner of the SFL. Right. It's Cam.
Exactly.
It's Andy. It's Harish.
Everybody is their own person, and that's the thing that's promoted throughout it is you don't have to put your professional guard on for these streams. We want people to be themselves.
Let loose, people. Let loose.
Exactly. Yep.
Take a joke.
Make
Enjoy. Make a joke. Enjoy.
And that's important, because it does give you another aspect of the league to enjoy, just not just watching the games, not just enjoying the content creators items, but in literally enjoying your fellow community member, just having a stream, having a good time, it's cool. And I stopped by and watched. Now I will say this disclaimer too, guys. I had headphones on when I came in. I wasn't ready. So turn your head. If you have headphones, just turn the volume down a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Or you're gonna get John Cena.
That's what happened. My ears are still ringing a little bit, and that was I don't know how many weeks ago.
That was so many weeks ago.
But no, seriously, good times, and it's a great thing to see, the both of you having fun with each other,
Yep.
and knowing that you guys started here in this community, it's amazing to me. But I want to thank you both for spending some time with me, and please, I want you both to come back on whenever you want to. You want to just hang out, or maybe something on your mind that you want to just kind of, discuss, and we can. It's a pleasure having both of you on.
Much appreciated.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us, and hopefully we didn't scare you away in the future.
Come on now. It's gonna take a lot more than that to do that.
Don't tempt me.
Again, it's gonna take a lot more than that to do that. I'm just gonna turn my volume down. That's all. That's the only thing.
Challenge accepted.
Baby, why you always gotta try? Why is everything a challenge?
He is a master of chaos. Actually, there's no doubt about that.
Just remember that I love you.
I've been able to manage it over the last couple of years. It's been fun.
Just remember that I love you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do me too dirty, okay?
I will try.
But before y'all go, I gotta give y'all the last word. So that could be a song, that could be a poem, or just a simple shout out to whomever you want to. Right now, Skippy and Chris, the floor is yours.
Sing us a song.
No songs, just shout outs, just love. Shout out to my Vancouver guys and gals, and thanks.
Shout out to my Carolina boys.
Yep.
Because I'm the only girl.
and appreciate everybody popping in and seeing what makes Skippy and Curtis tick. It's been fun, and get a hold of us. We're open book. It's easy to get a hold of us on Discord. If you guys have questions about us personally or professionally, if you're trying to get into like the broadcast team or something like that,
shoot, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're an open book. We're not gonna hide who we are for anybody. So
love it.
That's it.
That's why we love you guys. Y'all keep up the good work. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you both do out here on the field and how far you get in the playoffs and everything. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'll see y'all soon.
Yep.
Bye. 2, 1. That is it. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us this evening. I want to say a special thanks to Skippy and for Chris and for David being on. And a very special thanks to Nathaniel Diggs and Eddie Gage for being on with me as well. Gentlemen, did you have any words of wisdom for these people before we let you go? Uh-oh.
I got one. I noticed around the league there are a lot of missed progressions. Ladies, gentlemen, teenagers, you can do that while you're sitting there on the toilet. You can do it at the dinner table. You can do it while you watching TV. Just take 2 seconds to open up your phone and progress. There should be no excuse. Like Ashley tells our locker room all the time, set it and forget it. Put a reminder on your phone, progress. It takes literally 10 seconds, log on, progress, get out the way. Because when you miss, not only are you hurting your player, you're hurting the team, you're hurting the coach's game plans. They might have been planning for you to get an animation that week or whatever the case may be. you hurting everybody involved, and you putting undue stress on that front office because they instead of them sitting there glancing at the playbook and see how Sims are going, they're logging on to see if you progress yet. Take 10 seconds out your day, progress, and just get it over with. That's all I got.
Yeah. Diggy?
Kind of just reiterate what you've said before. You know, don't take anything anybody here says to heart. You know, it's all opinion-based stuff. And my words of wisdom for the rest of the season, because we're only halfway through. Don't care what people think you are. Be what you know you are, and go out there, finish strong, show them what you got, and go all out for your team. Win it.
All right. Great stuff, gentlemen.
Eddie,
Hi.
great being on with you for the first time on camera. You know, it's good.
For sure.
It's good.
And it won't be the last.
You're gonna be wearing a Scorpion jersey one day, bro.
I look forward to getting on the show sometime with you. In the future, we'll figure all that out. I got a show on Thursday if you're available. Yeah, I will. I'll DM you. And we'll get together.
All right, cool.
Cool beans.
All right, thank you, Ashley.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Missed you.
Missed
Been
you
too
too. I missed you too, man. I'm so glad we're getting back into the swing of things. And with that, I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week, y'all. But until then, y'all stay safe, treat each other well. For Diggy, for A.J.Striker, we're out.
Hey, Eddie.